Hello, welcome to this update. Let's see some severe weather today for the U.S. and Canada. So Debbie has already left the northeast. It's gone up high into Canada. So, but still a thunderstorm or two still possible there. And the southeast, we might have some severe weather in parts of the plains and the west. So, a marginal risk in parts of northern Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, southeastern Colorado, northern and northeastern Colorado, extreme southwestern Kansas, southern Montana, many parts of Wyoming, Utah, and even parts of southeastern Idaho, like eastern Idaho. So let's see. The wind threat is 5% in all those areas. For some storms with some gusty winds. Hail is 5% too, from Montana to Kansas and in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. And let's see, the tornado threat is less than 2%, but always be aware. Let's see, isolated severe thunderstorms capable of some localized severe gusts and perhaps some hail, possible during the afternoon to the early evening parts of the high plains, extending to the eastern Great Basin. So be aware. For tomorrow, let's see. So for tomorrow, still a marginal risk in parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, Kansas, and Colorado. So let's see. And some areas of general risk of storms in the southeast, parts of the north and the southwest. So tornado threat less than 2%, wind threat 5% in those areas, and hail a smaller 5% too. So be aware. Isolated severe thunderstorms may occur Sunday into Sunday night across parts of Central Plains into the Black Hills or south of South Dakota. So be aware. Let's see if there's something for day 3. Just general risk of thunderstorms for now. In the plains, the Great Basin, part of the southwest, the southeast, and the northeast. So be aware. Let's see. So today we will just have an elevated fire weather threat from northeastern California to southern Idaho, parts of Nevada and Utah, and isolated dry thunderstorms possible today in parts of Idaho, eastern Oregon, southwestern Montana, and those areas, yeah. So be aware. Tomorrow, they still don't have anything. So let's see the storms for today. It shows maybe a storm or two in Florida, some showers in other areas, maybe North and South Carolina, some showers. Let's see, Virginia, Maryland, a shower or two. Also in Michigan, a shower or two. But then there in Texas, Oklahoma, we show some storms and they kind of dissipate, but later it shows more storms like Colorado, northern New Mexico. Let's see. So especially in Utah there, southern Utah, central Utah, into Arizona, and parts of Montana and Wyoming. It shows some greater storms, especially in Montana and some areas there, later into Texas maybe, and be aware in Mexico as well. And let's see some rain. So this is the map for today. Some rain, thunderstorms possible in the green, and some flooding still present there in North and South Carolina. Let's see, tomorrow like this, and later like this. So precipitation for today shows more in Oklahoma, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Kansas, and those areas. Shows a lot of rain too in North Carolina, still in South Carolina. So let's see more rain through the Rockies, some areas there, some showers in the Cascades, more in Arizona, parts of Utah, and northern New Mexico and Canada. So be aware. For tomorrow, shows more in Oklahoma, Missouri, and northwestern Arkansas and Kansas, so be aware. Shows also in north like South Dakota and Nebraska, some more. Utah and Colorado, more rain. More in parts of Arizona, New Mexico, and still more in Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina. Might be some rain, so be aware. Day 3 for Monday shows more in Missouri still, in northern Arkansas, more in Nebraska, parts of Kansas, into Colorado, and some areas there of the west. A little bit more on the east coast. For Tuesday, more in Illinois, Missouri, and parts of the east coast still, in Florida. A little bit more in North Dakota, some areas of the west. Next Thursday shows more. So that before was Wednesday. So next Thursday shows more in Illinois and Iowa, Missouri, Minnesota. So might be a little bit of severe weather later next week there. Shows more in the southeast, some areas. For next Friday shows more in parts of Kentucky, Virginia, uh, Illinois, Missouri, and many areas there. A little bit more in Florida. Let's see. Next Saturday shows more in the Bahamas, more the Northeast, Ohio Valley, Pennsylvania, the Appalachians, some more in the West still. Mainly it. Day 1 through 7 shows a lot in Missouri and Illinois and Oklahoma from those storms. More North Carolina, Florida, South Carolina, some areas there. Shows a lot in Colorado too, parts of Nebraska, that let's see, Arizona, Mexico, so be aware. Let's see, excessive rainfall is still a slight risk today, so a slight risk parts of North, South Carolina and Virginia there, so be aware. This is mainly for the rest of the flooding left from Debbie, and a marginal too, another marginal from California to Arkansas. Let's see, tomorrow a slight in Missouri, Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas and Kansas, and a marginal from Montana to Arkansas, a marginal in Southern California, and a marginal from Arizona to Wyoming. Day 3, Monday, shows a marginal from Arizona to Missouri. Day 4, a marginal from Arizona to Illinois. Day 5, a marginal from Arizona to Minnesota down to Tennessee. So be aware. Let's see some temperatures. So it's still high in the 90s today in Texas. In the southeast, lots of 90s as well. 100s on the southwest, lots of 90s. So let's see. For Sunday, tomorrow shows some more 100s possible in Texas, 90s in the southeast still, more 100s on the southwest, some 90s. For day 3, for Monday, shows more 100s on the south, more 90s on the southeast, and 100s on the southwest, some areas. For day 4, Tuesday, shows more 100s near Texas and some areas of New Mexico, more 90s in the southeast, even 100 in Mississippi, 90s in the northern plains in some areas, more like some high 80s, and some 100s on the southwest. Day 5, next Wednesday, shows more 100s in Texas, Oklahoma, eastern New Mexico, parts of Mississippi and Arkansas, some 90s on the southeast, 100s on the southwest. For later, for day 6, shows more 100s on the southwest, more 100s in Texas, New Mexico, some areas, Mississippi, Louisiana, more 90s in the southeast. And day 7, next Friday, shows more 100s on the southwest. Let's see, parts of Texas, but I don't think it's available yet. So, but it's a week out, so we have plenty of time. So let's see, the day 1 max wind gusts valid for Saturday, today, August 10th, shows some gusty winds possible in parts of California, parts of the the Great Basins, some areas of the West, and Idaho, parts of Washington. Let's see, maybe in the north there, a little bit more winds, and this is mainly it. Some warnings, we still have some heat advisories in California, some heat warnings, heat advisories in the south and southeast. Still some flood warnings for the rivers there, some flood watches, so be careful. More air quality advisories in the northwest and red flagged warnings. And a flood watch in Alaska and some wind warnings there. Let's see, but this always changes. Now for Canada, let's take a look what they currently have, but this always changes. So in Saskatchewan, there's still some air quality advisories for low visibility and bad air quality because of the smoke. Still some heat warnings in the Northwestern Territories between 29 to 30 degrees. Northern Alberta, heat warnings and air quality statement, so be aware. Some high temperatures, let's see, and all these dots in Nunavut are heat warnings for those cities there. So air quality statements for the wildfire smoke and heat warning. The heat warning says low 30s and some high 20s in those areas, in those towns there. So be aware. Southern British Columbia still shows a heat warning there, some areas, and all this gray is air quality statement there for wildfire smoke, and a fog advisory this morning in Vancouver Island, but only for this morning. Let's see. Saskatchewan, an air quality statement as well, and we had some rainfall warnings earlier in parts of Quebec, but still some something some things there, but most of the rain has already left into the Maritimes. But it shows this weather advisory there in southern Quebec. Says conditions will fall for the development of funnel clouds today. A line of showers over eastern Lake Ontario has been producing funnel clouds, possible water spouts. A line of showers will affect those areas near Lakeshore, Lake Ontario, next few hours. So be aware, maybe some lake effect showers and some water spouts there. Let's see, still some rainfall warnings in parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. So let's see, still some 40 to 70 millimeters possible. New Brunswick, a rainfall warning still. Some 20 to 30 millimeters or even more. And special weather statements for rainfall parts of New Brunswick. So be aware, but this changes all the time. So first, the thunderstorm outlook for British Columbia shows maybe some moderate thunderstorms possible in parts of southern British Columbia, some minor thunderstorms in other areas, parts of Yukon too and northern British Columbia today. Northwestern Territories show some minor storms possible in the west of Northwestern Territories and Yukon. Tonight doesn't show anything, and tomorrow no thunderstorms. The prairies shows some minor storms possible in southwestern Alberta, so off the foothills there. Might be a thunderstorm or two this afternoon. At night nothing, and tomorrow still some storms possible there. In Ontario, still a general risk of thunderstorms in parts of central, eastern, southern Ontario. Tonight, more, still some in southern Ontario. Tomorrow still shows in southeastern Ontario, some storms possible. And later, a similar thing. Let's see. Quebec shows a general risk of thunderstorms, some wind and some heavy rain. Some areas of eastern and central Quebec. So this is today, I think, yes. So tomorrow still shows some storms possible there. Tonight, nothing. No. So this is tonight. Yes, tonight a smaller area for some storms. And today even in eastern Quebec, some storms there. So be aware. Let's see some other stuff. This some of the flooding that happened in parts of Montreal and southern Quebec there. So and there has been some record rainfall in Montreal there. So be careful with the flooding and the storms for today. So general risk of thunderstorms, like I showed you in parts of Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and even Nova Scotia. Some embedded thunderstorms within the rain, some very heavy rain and flooding, but most of this has already gone into Atlantic Canada. And for the west, like I showed you, some storms possible in Alberta and British Columbia there. So be aware. Let's see for Western Canada. This model has some storms later today in southern British Columbia and Alberta. Let's see something else in Yukon, northern British Columbia. Tomorrow, that system in Alaska and parts of Yukon might bring more rain to the northwest and British Columbia there later. Maybe some other systems later. But let's see for central Canada. There's that steel system in Ontario bringing those storms there, so be aware. In Quebec and Ontario, still those strong thunderstorms and some heavy rain. And tomorrow, it's still some storms there in Ontario, but then it kind of goes away. Maybe a storm or two later, by next Monday, in parts of Saskatchewan and maybe Alberta. So be aware. And for Eastern Canada, shows Debbie there, but now Debbie's about like there. So still some heavy rain in Newfoundland, some areas of the Maritimes, and still some thunderstorms and heavy rain in Quebec from that other system there. Today and tomorrow, still some storms. So yeah, and later shows that front by Monday in Labrador and Quebec. So this is mainly it. Stay safe. Let's just see some stuff, some temperatures maybe, because now it's cooler in Quebec there in Ontario, so it's down to the 20s in parts of Quebec, and some 19, 15, 16 degrees in those areas because of that cooler air that came in with the storm system. Some higher 20s in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, higher 20s there, some 30s in northern British Columbia. Southern British Columbia shows possibly some areas of 30s and higher 20s. But in the north there, in the northwestern territories, shows some hot spots like to 31, 32 degrees, even 33. So very hot there. Be aware in those areas. Nunavut still high, like moderately in the 20s, some areas high in the 20s in Nunavut. So be aware there. Quebec, some 20s, it might warm up a little bit later next week in parts of Ontario, but this is mainly it. Stay safe. But let's just see one last thing. Still a little bit of gusty winds left from the remnants of Debbie through Newfoundland and parts of Eastern Canada, so just some gusty winds there today. Be aware.